Yeah. All right. Very cool. Okay.
All right.
So,
So we're back here with another segment of Get to Know Our Athletes for the All American Kettlebell Open. And I'm here with an absolute titan that showed up last year to the All American Kettlebell Open, and the very first flight knocked out a 30-minute one arm long cycle with a 32 kilogram.
my good friend.
That's my man, Jeff Butterworth from RX Strength Training. How's it going, Jeff?
It's going all right. How you doing, Dana?
Not too bad, man. I have been looking forward to this interview, and I was telling Maud the amount of energy that comes into a room when you walk in it is just undeniable.
Ah, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about who you are, what got you in the kettlebell sport, how long you've been doing it. Tell us a little bit about your gym, and what you got going on there. Just, give us a little bit of history about you.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I opened RX Strength Training in 2011. That was after a stint of working at some other commercial gyms. And during that time, I had learned about kettlebells. They still weren't really very prevalent. Gym I was working at in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and they didn't have, nor would they buy, kettlebells for us. So I kind of pieced it all together using Craigslist and other online shops I could find. Just got myself some 16s, with that enamel that cracked off. I got an old school IM32, 24s, a couple of things built up my collection. And all I was really doing was your classic, doing some get-ups, doing some squats, swings, pressing, and they were big, ugly boulders. It wasn't until about, I'd say 2011, 2012, right after I opened the gym, that I first learned of kettlebell sport, primarily with Valery Fedorenko and World Kettlebell Club. And I started doing a couple of sets with my ugly boulder bells and learned quickly how much better kettlebell sport bells were. Picked up some from World Kettlebell Club and did my first competition. I believe it was in 2014. Kind of fell in love with the sport, and it's one of my primary modes of exercise and happiness. And I try to inflict that on as many people in the gym as I can, despite the fact that we've got a number of different kinds of sports we participate in.
Yeah, you guys do a little bit of everything up there, don't you? You do kettlebells, you do what else?
Yep.
Strongman?
Yep, we got a little strongman club that'll actually be meeting here later today on Saturday. But our kettlebell sport club is under the direction of myself and then one of my coaches, Duran Golden. And then we've got the RX powerlifting club under the direction of Coach Nadia Mumin, and then the RX weightlifting club with both of their respective barbell sports under the direction of Coach Morgan Dodson. And we've got some great athletes in there. They do a phenomenal job. Nadia just got back from USAPL Raw Nationals, where they placed second in their weight class with an absurd total. It was fantastic. And we regularly have a bunch of weightlifters go to regional competitions, the Arnold, well, I should know more about those, but some of the more international competitions. Morgan's going to kill me. I don't know these. But our athletes work really hard, and I'm lucky to have a really good staff that helps us keep our strength training afloat and growing.
Yeah, that's awesome. With all the other sports that we have going on at Mr. America, do you guys have anything other than kettlebell sport going on?
So we have had a couple of folks going down for strongman. I think we still do this year.
Nice.
The timing just wasn't right to get anyone in for powerlifting, and those are really the main sports that we compete. Which we compete. I don't think there's weightlifting there, but I know for sure we're not bringing any weightlifters with us this time. But
Nice.
Really, what we're excited for is coming back once again for the All American Open.
Man, I'm excited to have you guys back. You guys, the team that you built and brought down were just phenomenal, and they every one of them put on a great show, and sportsmanship like no other.
We've got some really, really good people here. I'm really lucky about that. And last year was Maud, who she's been crushing it ever since she decided she'd pick up a kettlebell and listen to me. And then Stacy, Christopher, and Al Mailer, and they're both coming back. But we got a bunch more athletes who are finally going to join us again this year. I think there are 8 or 9 of us coming.
Nice. Speaking of Valerie, he's going to be there this year.
I did know that. I was speaking with him a little while ago. This is after we went out to the IKMF Nationals in Nyborg, Denmark. And I'm really excited to see him. I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah.
And I know he's still kicking ass with kettlebells. And so I'm really, really looking forward to seeing him down in Atlantic City.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited to meet him. I was I was never introduced to him, but I was given some of his methodologies and some of his ideologies when it comes to the sport. Uh, a couple of his videos from Moses Dunca,
Yep. And
who
Mo's a
is
good guy.
one of his proteges. So
Yep. That's exactly
he's
it.
Moses is a very good guy, and I can't wait to meet Valerie.
Yeah.
Valerie was gracious enough to send me a pair of his 32s.
Oh, that's great.
Man, they are phenomenal belts. Do you still have some Valeries laying around?
Only a few, only a few hanging around. We our kettlebell store collection sort of expanded and grew, but I still have just a few of those original bells because they're classic.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Nice, man. So what are you competing in this year? Are you doing 32s again for 30 minutes or what?
So I could do a long, drawn out answer, but I'll tell you a couple of reasons that is not going to be me doing the 32 just at this time. It just came around at a rough time for me.
Mm-hmm.
My team has been working really, really hard, and I've kind of gotten a couple of curveballs thrown my way. Big tiny violin. But it's been a tough training season for me. We've had a lot of travel. And there's been a lot to deal with in the gym, and so unfortunately, I haven't been keeping up with my training like I should. And this is an unconfirmed thing, but a couple of folks may know that I was doing my set in Denmark and kind of dropped at 195. We weren't really sure what was going on, whether it was heat, whether it was something else, but there might be a little syncope going on. And so I've been avoiding some certain stressful situations because I've gotten lightheaded and went down once after that. Way too much information here. But I do still plan on showing up to do a 30-minute set with the 24, mostly
Nice.
so that I can lift with my athletes and add points to the team. And I would love to go down, coach, and help, because if there's only one thing I love to do, it's actually to help other lifters. I really do love coaching, but I can't not participate. So I'll be up there with something that's not 32 this time around.
Well, we'll have medics on site, so if you need anything.
I appreciate that because they did not at the IKMF match international.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, unfortunate, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of IKMF, that's our marathon tables that we'll be running.
Yep.
And you run an IKMF the New England Classic, right?
That's correct. Yep. We'll be doing that again in April as we did last year.
How many years have you been doing that, or is this your second year doing it?
So coming up in 25 will only be our third year.
Okay.
It'll be on April 5th of 2025 this year.
Nice.
And we will indeed be running a bunch of different disciplines. Definitely the classic kettlebell sport, 10-minute sets of biathlon, long cycling, snatch, and jerks. We will be doing 5-minute sets for folks that are new to the sport and want to experience it. Also, the 30-minute IKMF for half marathon bits. And then I think what we're going to be doing this year, because I'd really love to bring it back, we were talking about Valerie before, is the 4-minute strong sport, which I haven't seen in many competitions since. And for the strong sport was based on the idea of getting folks who are well versed in strength sport disciplines, but not necessarily up to the mental task of going for 10 minutes. And it is a 4-minute set, mandatory switch at 1 arm, mandatory switch at 2 minutes. And I believe men's tables start at 32 and women's start at 24.
Oh, wow.
So the idea is if you're not quite ready to go for a 10-minute set, here's a 4-minute set, but you're going to work for it.
Right. So I was going to ask because I'm highly interested in training for a pentathlon, and I wanted to come up to New England this year and hopefully compete in a pentathlon if you were going to offer that.
That's one thing that I've always enjoyed, and I've never been able to compete in. I've trained it myself as well, but as you know, kettlebell sport competitions are not exactly everywhere. They're a little bit more few and far between. This was even more the case back when I was training 10-minute and other things for World Kettlebell Club. But the pentathlon is a fantastic discipline, and I would really like to offer that as well. It's something that can kind of be turned into a bit of a party because that's a 50-minute set, really. So you get your athletes up there, they know they're going to work, and you can kind of turn into a little bit of a spectacle.
Right. Yeah, I think we're gonna be sending out an email for some last minute. We're gonna try to throw together like maybe 1 or 2 flights of pentathlon for the end of our Sunday. So Sunday, Sunday is. So we're gonna run all of our. This is the idea. This is our plan as of now, because we're just over 80 lifters, and we're gonna try to get all of our 5 and 10-minute sets done on Saturday.
Yep.
and then do all of our marathon lifts on Sunday. Just so you're aware, because I know most of your guys are doing marathon lifts. So
yep, that's good. Well, I've got
a
few. I've definitely got some 10-minutes going, but myself, Duran, Natalie Brown, and Maud, we will definitely all. Oh, and Al Melo. Yeah, 5 of us will definitely be doing that in 30 minutes.
Oh, by the way, I just reached out to Natalie Brown because we did a live drawing yesterday.
Oh.
She won a portable ice bath from
Oh,
us.
that's very cool. All right,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Natalie's gonna be thrilled to hear that, and
Yeah,
I'm thrilled that it'll help her recovery.
Yeah, I was like, I was telling Nikolai that she's doing a 30-minute set and she's gonna need it.
That's right. She'll definitely want that.
Yeah, for sure. So, Jeff, if you don't mind, when you bring in new athletes to your gym,
yep,
what's a piece of advice that you give them if they're thinking about competing?
Well, it's an interesting one because we've got folks that are coming in either gearing up and raring up for competition. They're coming here specifically to be part of one of the strength sport discipline clubs. But we do indeed have some folks that just come in and love the tool. And that is the case with almost all of the lifters on my kettlebell squad. So I guess I can use them as a perfect example that first, I think the most important thing is to know exactly what it is that you're training. I am a huge fan of having something for which you are ambitious, for which you have goals, and that is going to help you in your training. Because when you feel like quitting or when you feel like not showing up because it's snowing, it's hot, I was busy today, that's going to give you a little bit more motivation, knowing that you have a goal in mind and you don't want to fall short of your ambition. Now, the catch is, if you jump right into competition without actually knowing that this is something about which you're passionate, you could be dooming yourself to failure. So without being negative about it, I think the most important thing about really going in towards competition is knowing that you have a passion for the sport, for the discipline, or for the tool. Because just like having the best gym in the world that's 30 miles away, if you don't actually love doing it or want to do it, especially in those tough times, you're not going to follow through. So it's most important to find something that you know you're passionate about and that you know that you're really, really going to look forward to doing. It's going to be a big part of not only your training, but your character as well.
That's some good advice. How soon after they start do you think they come to the realization, oh, I am in love with this?
I love this. Well, you can usually see in their eyes because it's the idea of that 8th round in in a boxing or a boxing match, just struggling for every single rep while it's whacking you across the face, metaphorically. And then when the bell goes down, it's either a grimace or it's a smile. And when you see that it's a smile, there's that satisfaction. There's that understanding they just did so much more than they thought they could, probably thinking that multiple times along the set. But when they finish, they know what they did and they kind of can't wait to do it again. That's the demon of kettlebell sport. Is it hurts so badly when you're right in the middle, especially a really long set. And 5 minutes after you put it down, you think, I could go for longer.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
Speaking of your training and so dealing with the setbacks, how are you overcoming them, and how are you dealing with training now leading up to the All-American? Now, you said you dropped down to the 24s. How are you adjusting to your specific training regimen?
So essentially what I've done is I've dropped down to the 24s, mostly because I know I can do that. That was the first bell that I ever did 30-minute set with. I got a result with which I'm happy, 425 back in the day. I think this was 2018, maybe 2017 or 2018, at Yuri Petronov's gym in Connecticut when he was still there, for the American Kettlebell Alliance. And I know I can do that. I've done those sets before. The unlimited hand switch really helps. And I'm able to do it with a couple of my athletes. In regard to the way I've been approaching my training, it's not what I would recommend. I'm mostly just doing long sets where I can to kind of temper my body and prove to myself that I can still do it. In regard to how I've been taking a little bit of those setbacks and some of those curveballs I've been getting, coaching my athletes actually gives me more pleasure these days than actually lifting myself. So I may not be able to stick with the training right now as much as I should have, which I almost feel embarrassed saying, but I know it happens to everybody. But knowing that I've got my athletes who are going to come in for every single session and they're always going to be there working hard, working for me, I can sit there and I can count their sets. That brings me a tremendous amount of satisfaction, and I just love coaching. So they really are the ones who inspire me to keep going.
That's awesome. I love that. That's
they're the best. I love them. You're going to meet more of them. So Stacey,
Yeah,
Al, and Maud were great last year. You're going to get even more than that this year.
that's awesome. What do you know offhand? I can't remember what is Maud moving up to a 16 this year? Because last year she did 12, right?
So Maud actually is Maud did 16 in Denmark, and she's
Oh,
done a
yeah,
couple other sets with that since. Maud is actually dialing in on 20.
nice.
So Maud is going to be showing up expecting to lift 20 kilos, and I've seen her do a few sets, and we've counted some. She's been doing a phenomenal job with it,
Hmm.
especially considering that I believe she's weighing in at about 106, 107.
Wow.
So using 20 kilos is, I'm sorry, 106, 107 pounds. My mistake.
Hmm.
47 kilos is about where she's
Right.
sitting at. And so using 20 kilos is a big deal. But you know, Maud, you've hung out, you talked to Maud. You know, there's
Hmm.
nothing that she's not going to be able to do if she
Right.
decides even a little bit that it's happening. It's just going
Yeah.
to happen.
Hearing her interview with um the Twin Cities Kettlebell
Yep, with
Club,
Jordan. Yep,
Jordan. Yep. She was talking about Iceland and your guys' trip over there,
yep.
and how in just a couple of days she was going somewhere else to do another hiking,
Against my
like a
better judgment, but she chose a good one. So Mon's body kind of just doesn't make sense in that it recovers so well. I have a
yeah.
huge vested interest, not only in making sure that she's still a competent and comfortable athlete, but because she's a very, very good friend, basically family. I
Hmm.
want her to be okay and fine all the time. And despite the fact that I am always looking for her to be in good shape, she constantly surprises me with what she's able to do, even though I know what she's capable of. So currently, she is indeed on a Mont Blanc trail in France, hiking through some snow because why not?
Yeah.
And we keep getting the updates. She's messaging us pretty consistently, and she's having a good time. So despite the fact that she just ran a couple weeks ago 200 miles plus down the country of Iceland through every bit of terrain they've got to offer, now she's in France, and at least she's having a good time. Where Iceland was a bit of a gauntlet.
Hmm.
Yep.
So what was Iceland? What was that like for you? Because you went over there in support, right? So
Yep,
how did
we did
how
indeed.
did how did that go for you? Were you following along in a van? Were you
I
What
will
was
say
your
that
role?
this is not exactly the athletic inspiration version of this. We just wanted to be sure that we were there with no less than 2 hours capacity to meet to catch up with her if we needed to be. So we were kind of just there visiting Iceland and the Faroe Islands. It was
Oh, that's
beautiful.
cool.
It was wonderful. I didn't do anything tremendously outside the color of hiking and finding kettlebells once in a while. But
Nice.
Maud did all the work, and we just wanted to be sure we were there to be able to be a support team.
Yeah, I think you sent me a picture. You found some bells over there you got to play
Yep.
around with, right?
Sure did. Yep, exactly. But
That's awesome.
one of the hotels we stayed at. Yes, we stayed in a hotel. She was staying in a barn, a tent, a sleeping bag, whatever.
Hmm.
Did have some actual kettlebells with the shiniest, chromiest handles you've ever seen, and well, it's better than
Yeah.
nothing. But
Right.
those little they almost look like a Bulgarian bag with a handle. I
Hmm.
really do. I'm gonna make some of those to teach newbies in class and just in general how to do proper cleans without bruising themselves. I think
Yeah.
it'll be a nice training wheels variation. If I can actually nail down how to do it, I'm gonna send you how I did.
That's awesome, man.
Share the wealth or well
Yes.
or whatever. Share the love. Share the
Share the love.
techniques. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Well, you showed me how you built your platforms, and those things are solid and they look great.
Oh my God, they're
So
heavy.
yeah,
And we're actually so last year I just painted them, but
yeah.
this year I'm getting a quote like as we speak to wrap them. I'm gonna get them wrapped in some vinyl wrap this year. I know
Yeah,
the vinyl wrap may not last very long if people drop bells on them, but they're gonna look really, really effing cool.
yeah, that's right. Well, I assume you're not going to be wrapping the rubber mat, and
No.
most
Mm-mm.
kettlebell athletes are proficient and respectful enough not to
Hmm.
wail things down in the wood. And I've got
Right.
a few pieces of wrapped gear, strongman gear in the gym here that I've had for 8, 9 years probably from
Hmm.
Texas Power Concepts down in Texas, and a couple of scratches here and there, but the vinyl's really held up. So I bet they'll last you a good long time looking pretty.
Nice. I want to recap a little bit. Let's talk about your experience last year at the All American Kettlebell Open.
Yeah.
What were you expecting? Were your expectations met? Uh, and what are you looking forward to the most coming into this year?
So last year, I don't really know what I was expecting. I believe it was the first time I was doing a half marathon with 32, so it was kind of a new challenge. I was just getting back into 30 minute sets after several years of not even training them. So I just had the ambition of I just wanted to get in the platform and do okay. I've been talking to Judy about it. Judy DeMuro, obviously, queen of kettlebell, especially IKMF, half
IKMF,
marathon,
yes.
100%. And I just wanted to be sure that I was able to at least achieve my CMS because I knew that was the highest rank we could get there. That's not always the point, but I just wanted to be sure that I was in a good position to be able to join Team USA for the championships in May of 2024. And I did okay. I could have wanted for a little bit more. I think I ended up with 217 maybe or something like that. And I was hoping, maybe for something along the lines of like 235, 240. But I'll get back there. Overall, it was just a wonderfully run competition. In all the years that I've been lifting, really one of the best in terms of how the platforms are set up, the backdrop, the ease of move for the athletes, especially as they bring their bells on, the level of support, the level of what everyone was doing. It was really, really well put on. And I think one of my favorite things, and please, everyone else in Mr. America, don't judge me too hard, but looking around at all the other sports, the way they were set up and the way they were run, it was like it was their first year and like it was the All-American Open's like 8th year. Even though I know that ain't the truth. It was just so well done, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. The thing I'm looking forward to the most, seeing my athletes compete. I'm always excited to see them work and to be able to sit there on the side of the platform and coach them through what is a really, really important set. That in the cheesiest, heartstringiest way, that really is what brings me pride and satisfaction. I love seeing them do well. All of them are working so hard right now, and I know they've got their eyes on that prize for a month from now. So they're going to be great, and I know that they're gonna kill it, and I'm going to be right there to watch them doing it.
Heck yeah, man! So this year, they gave us the entire back wall
that's great.
because this competition has grown so much, even from just 1 year ago. So last year was our first year doing it. This is our second, and we had to ask for more space because of how much we've grown. So that's really awesome that they set up an entire back wall just for kettlebell sport this year.
That's great. How many platforms do you get?
So Nikolai and I were just talking about it yesterday. We were going to run 4. We ran 3 last year. We were going to run 4, but I think we're gonna end up running 5.
Oh wow! No kidding. That's great. Okay.
Yeah, and we got a couple some really stacked flights. 5 platforms with individuals running like 20s and things like that. So it's gonna be fun. And Dennis is coming back this year.
Yep.
He's doing a 28 kilogram biathlon this year, where last year he did 24 kilogram long cycle.
Yep.
But so we got a lot of big lifters coming this year that didn't come last year. Just a couple that I can, or one that I can really think of right offhand is Lorna Kleidman.
Lorna's a good friend of mine. Yep.
Mm-hmm. She wanted to come last year, but she couldn't make it happen due to her schedule. But this year she's making it happen. Yep. And I think I have an interview set up with her next weekend. We're trying to figure out a time now. So
no one is better at the snatch than Lorna. That's Lorna.
Oh my God.
That's her magical superpower. I mean, it's incredible. So that'll be fun to watch.
Absolutely. Jeff, I don't want to keep you too long. Just let us know where people can find you if they wanted to reach out, talk about the New England Classic, your gym, all that good stuff. Let's get some stuff out there for you.
I appreciate that, and I would love to have those sister competitions because you've got yours in October. Always, we've got ours in April. So the New England Kettlebell Classic, running its 3rd year, is going to be on April 5th. 2025, possibly April 5th and 6th, that Saturday and Sunday. You can always find that. I believe we still have the domain of nekc.com, but you can definitely find it on our Instagram, RX Strength Training on Instagram, and RX Kettlebell Club on Instagram as well. And then you can find everything about the gym at rxstrengthtraining.com. And if you are in the Boston area, we're right here in Somerville, not far from Assembly Row. We'd love to have people come over, learn more about the sport. I'll teach you about the sport, teach you how sad and wonderful it can be. And then check out any of the other sports we got too, since we have so many people doing barbell disciplines and just general fitness training. And we got a good group of folks. I'm lucky, and I would love to add more friends always.
Awesome, man. Well, Jeff, I'll let you get back to it, and let me know if you do end up putting in the IKMF Games pentathlon.
Well, now that you're interested, I'm just going to treat you as the first contender, and I'm going to try to see if anybody else wants to come and join you.
Absolutely.
I never run my own competitions because I've always got too much going on. But if you're the only one that wants to do pentathlon, then I will be on the platform next to you, and we'll finish off the day. It'll be
well.
great.
That's awesome. And if you have any experience with coaching, let me know because I'll need it.
Oh, no, 100%. I actually do have experience. It's been a while since I coached anyone in the pentathlon, but I still got all my old notebooks. And the foundation and fundamentals remain the same, just a matter of how you apply to them to those 6-minute sets. And I would be delighted to share some of my old techniques and whatnot with you.
Absolutely. I'll be in touch for that. I'll be in touch.
That'd be great.
All right, Jeff, cool. I'm going to let you get going. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate it. This was a very this interview I was looking forward to a whole lot.
Me too.
Because the energy you bring is just, like I said before, it's undeniable. And I can feel it through this conversation. So
I'm sending you those vibes. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm receiving them full on. I can't wait to see you guys in October, man.
Yep, 1 month I get to see you again. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna have a big hug for you.
Absolutely. All right, Jeff. I'll see you, bud.
All right, thanks, Daniel. See you soon.
Bye.